with your head buried in the sand, to not be aware of what's going on all over this country as it pertains to the ever-increasing number of senseless killings of people of color by persons who have sworn an oath to protect and serve. But almost as telling as the incident themselves have been, the reaction and the responses to the incidents. Reminiscent of the 1960s, we've seen cities literally set ablaze. We've seen college presidents step down. We've seen police officers fired. We've seen policies and protocols changed. We've witnessed the coming of age of what many are calling this generation's civil rights movement, that is, Black Lives Matter. We've witnessed social media evolve from a hobby for millennials to the most significant platform of organization, activism, and social reform since the sanctuary of the Black church. Even the world of sports could not avoid being disrupted by the strong winds of change. Everything from a boycott by the University of Missouri football team to Richard Sherman making headlines for hard-hitting political commentary opposed to hard hits on the football field. But no response, you all, was more telling than that of the management of the Baltimore Orioles. You'll remember in Baltimore, in response to the death of Freddie Gray, protesters marched and protested in front of Camden Yards in downtown Baltimore, the home of the Baltimore Orioles. Well, fans waiting to see the game between the Orioles and the Chicago White Sox began to hurl racial slurs at the protesters, afraid that this could potentially lead to violence during the three-game stretch. Orioles management, along with the city officials, decided that rather than canceling the game would be played with no fans in the stands. So they were forced to play this game, you all, with nobody cheering them on. I'm going somewhere. And as I thought about that thing, it got me to thinking, what must it be like to have to do your job knowing that you don't have any fans? How many of us would be able to execute our responsibility with excellence knowing that there was nobody there to applaud, appreciate, or to encourage you? So when ESPN broadcasted the story, they showed several of the players reacting to the empty stands. Don't miss this now. They showed one player standing in front of the empty stands, repeatedly writing his name on a pad as though he was signing autographs for the fans. They showed another player throwing balls up into the stands as though there was someone actually there to catch them. Now, if you didn't understand what was going on, you would have thought they had lost their mind. But one of the anchors, you all, interviewed the players, and his comments provide the first shout in the sermon. Don't forget this. He said to the interviewer, since we had nobody there to cheer us on to win, we had no other choice but to encourage ourselves. All right, listen. Now, I could make a sermonic turn right there and talk about how David encouraged himself in the Lord, but I don't have to do that because when I look across the sanctuary, I see 3 or 4 of you all in here who can testify that you don't have a life coach, you don't have a standing appointment on a counselor's couch, you're not reading some self-help book, then since you didn't have any of that stuff, you had to learn how to encourage yourself. Am I preaching to anybody? As a matter of fact, the only reason you've not fallen apart, the only reason you've not lost your mind, the only reason you're not nasty, bitter, and angry is because you've learned how to encourage yourself. Is there anybody here that can testify, preacher, the only reason I'm still making it is not because I had folk to pat me on my back, not because folk were standing around saying you can do it, but the reason I'm still able to stand is because I've learned how to encourage myself. Now, some of y'all still ain't saying nothing. You're trying to figure it out. Davis, how in the world can I encourage myself? Can I tell you what that means? That means that when you ain't got nobody to play with, you got to learn how to throw the ball to yourself. I wish I had somebody. Look at your neighbor and say, you got to learn how to encourage yourself. Oh, wait. I almost forgot to tell you because I know some of y'all are not baseball fans. Let me tell you how it turned out. The Baltimore Orioles won the game against the Chicago White Sox, even in an empty stadium, because when you got God, you can win with nobody cheering for you. I can't get no help in here. Is there anybody that can testify you've won some stuff in life and there was nobody there to cheer for you? I almost feel like preaching, y'all. You see, watch this now. Contrary to what you hear some folks say in the church, You cannot honestly and truthfully testify that you are a survivor until you survived in an environment where there was nothing or no one there for you but you. I wish I had somebody. Now watch this. It's a hurtful thing. It's a frustrating thing. It's a lonely and a dark thing when people you thought who would support you suddenly go silent and disappear on you. I wish I had somebody. And might I suggest to you that that's exactly where Joseph finds himself in this text. Now it's interesting to me, you all, that when you read the story, you find that Joseph, brother, was hated by folks that he had done nothing to. Let me say it one more time. Joseph was hated by folks that he hadn't done a thing to. As a matter of fact, if you pick up the story from the very beginning, the Bible says that his father gives him a multicolored coat. Hang on to that because I'm coming back to that. And that they hate him, you all, because of his coat. So they hate him because of what's on him. Don't miss that now. They hate him because of what's on him. I say they hate him because of what's on him. It has nothing to do with him, but they hate him because of what's on him. They hate him because of what makes him different. They hate him because of what makes him stand out. They hate him because he doesn't look like everybody else. They hate him because he doesn't handle himself like everybody else. So we can quickly deduce that if he looked like everybody else, if he carried himself like everybody else, if he acted like everybody else, then they would not have an issue with him. They saw the favor on him and they messed around and got mad. They saw what the Father gave him and messed around and got mad. He didn't ask for it, you all. It was the choice of the Father to give him favor. I wish I had somebody. Here I come. There will be some people who don't like you because of the favor that God has placed upon you. Hello, but wait. That ain't the revelation. Let me give you the revelation. I told you it was a multicolored coat. I wish I had somebody. So the coat wasn't just one color, y'all. It was a multicolored coat. Don't miss it now. The coat represented the favor, and it was a multicolored coat. Davis, what does that mean? So it won't matter if you can sing, pray, preach, usher, if you're pretty, if you're tall, if you're friendly, if you're thick, if you're thin, if you're chocolate, if you're light skinned. There will be some people who don't like you regardless of whatever form your favor comes in. I wish I had somebody.